Okay friends, so I just wanted to show you how I do my Roma tomatoes. When I pick them from the vine, if I'm not ready to work with them, I go ahead and freeze them. I just freeze them as they are, skins, blemishes and all. Just stick them in a plastic container and put them in your freezer. I have some there, I have some here on the door, and I even have some more fresh ones here. And I have even started working up some that there just wasn't room for. So today I am going to be working up these tomatoes to get them ready for canning salsa, and I will be back. Hello family and friends and fellow YouTubers, it's Kim here from Kim's Country Corner, and as you can tell I am back out at the Hancock Homestead in the kitchen because it is time to start canning, to start using up these tomatoes in different canning recipes, and they all start with the same process, and that is getting the tomatoes ready. And I do that by blanching them. And blanching is a simple cooking process in which you take a fruit or vegetable and you immerse it into boiling hot water for a limited amount of time. And I do 2 minutes. And then after they've sat in that boiling water for about 2 minutes, then I take them out and I put them into ice cold water to stop the cooking process. Because I do not want to cook them at this point in time. I merely want to loosen the skin and to make it a lot easier for me to remove the core and get rid of any bad spots. And so what I have back here is a blanching pot. And a blanching pot is kind of like a pot with a colander inside of it. That's really all that is. But as you can see, I have the black outer pot right here. And in that pot, I have hot water that's coming to a boil. And then inside the outer pot, I have an inner pot, which is like your colander. And it has holes in it that releases that hot water. So you can actually use any kind of a pan that has a outer pan and then a colander pan. Sometimes you can buy like spaghetti sets that have that built like that. This is an actual canning, blanching pot that you can buy in the canning supply section. But you don't have to have an official one. You can use anything that will allow you to put your vegetables into hot boiling water. And another thing you can do is that if you don't have a spaghetti pot or a blanching pot, you can always go ahead and immerse your tomatoes or your fruit, vegetable, into the boiling water, and then simply use a slotted spoon or anything to dish them out of the boiling water to put them into the cold water. But I will say that having one of these pots does make it a lot easier. So, and I will show you exactly how that happens. So I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see. Okay, so there's my blanching pot, and as you can see, it is very hot. And I'm going to very carefully dump these tomatoes down into that water. Okay, until they're covered. You want to make sure that they do get covered. Alright? And then I'm going to set my timer, and I use the microwave timer, for 2 minutes. Make sure that those are covered, which they are. And that water was boiling, but of course the cold frozen tomatoes has cooled it off somewhat, but it'll be okay. The process will still work. Okay, and so then in the sink here, as you can see, I have some ice water waiting. And then there's my stock pot pan, which I will be filling up with the processed tomatoes. Okay, so the microwave timer did go off. And I just wanted to show you real quick that if you look at the tomatoes, you will see that the skins have split. Okay, so I know that they're ready to go into the ice water now. Alright, so I'm going to lift this inner pot out, being careful to let that water drain out. Okay, and when most of the water has been drained, then I'll transfer it over here to the sink and dump it into my cold water. Alright, so let's go take a look at them. Okay, so now that they're in the ice water, I can pick them up, and you don't even hardly need a knife. As you can see, that skin is just coming right off of there. I'll go ahead and put that into my sink there. And then, because aroma has a lot of meat and not much water to it, I just cut off that top part to get rid of that core, and then this part goes into my stock pan for later usage. Okay, so I'll show you another one. So as you can see, the skin just slides right off, right there. Okay, I just slice off that core. Look for any bad spots. Take out a bad spot. Goes into my stock pan. And I have gotten to the point where I can be blanching one set of tomatoes while I'm processing the other, and then about the time I get these done, then the other pot's ready to come over. So I've learned to do this very quickly. Of course, today I'm going a little bit slower because I'm explaining it to you. But I just want you to see how much easier it is to peel tomatoes for usage when you blanch them, because those skins just come right off. And then you just take off that top part and it's ready to go. Alright, I have a lot of tomatoes to work up. Always pour those away from you so that if it does splash hot water, you're not getting splashed. Just needs a few more, so I'm going to throw those in my hand. So we had a really good bumper crop this year of our Roma tomatoes. I did 2 different pickings. I did put out a video on one of the pickings. And then we also have a lot of Better Boys coming on now. Our Better Boys are coming on later than what the Romas did, which is actually a good thing. And the Better Boys, whatever we don't eat fresh, then I will can them as whole tomatoes. And I will do the same thing. I will pick some that I need for canning. If I can't get to them as fresh tomatoes, I will freeze them until I'm able to get to them. And then the first thing that happens is I will blanch those also. And then I will probably do a video on how to can whole tomatoes. So, and I always use follow the guidelines that are in the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. If you are a new canner, an old canner, I highly recommend this book. It's just so complete, so simple to read, so simple to understand, and it just has everything you need to know. So I highly recommend the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. I keep it on top of my refrigerator during canning season. Alright, so it is ready to take these out. Once again, I'm just going to lift them. Make sure that water completely drains out of there. And then transfer them to the sink, into the cold water. Alright, okay, so this is what I'm going to be doing today, is blanching, peeling, coring, processing these tomatoes, so that hopefully tomorrow I can make the salsa. I have found for myself that it's much easier for myself to do all the processing of the tomatoes the day before. I will also be getting my peppers and my onions diced up today, so that first thing in the morning I can start out fresh with all of my fresh ingredients lined up ready to go, and then I can start the cooking process of the salsa and then the canning process of the salsa. So this will be one day's work, the prep work, and then tomorrow will be the canning work. And then we'll have fresh salsa for the rest of the year. Alright, so I'll talk to you guys later. Okay friends, so as you can see, I'm about halfway through the tomatoes. But I'm going to need my stock pots for tomorrow's recipes and to do the cooking. So I'm going to need my plastic containers to store the good tomatoes in. So I am going to run the plastic buckets through the dishwasher to clean them up really good to hold the tomatoes that have been processed. And usually when I'm about halfway through a batch, I will start out with some fresh hot water to blanch, and then some fresh cold water for the peeling and the coring. I don't know. After about a half a batch, it gets to be kind of yucky, and so I like to just change it out halfway through. And then my scraps here, I'm going to take out to the chickens while I'm waiting for my water to heat up, and the chickens will gobble those scraps right up, so none of the tomato gets wasted. And then I can wash my bucket when I'm all the way through. Alright. Hey Paulo, how are you today? Yeah. We've been having some rainy, cold, chilly days for about 3 days now. So it's actually been a good week to do the canning, because I can't do anything outside. Well, I could, but I don't like the cold temperatures. At least not yet. So it's been nice to just have something to do inside. I mean, it's so chilly out here that you have to wear a jacket. But it looks like next week we're supposed to be back to warmer temperatures, and so then I can do some of my fall gardening chores. There you go, guys. Ladies, I hope you enjoy those tomatoes. Okay friends, well I'm going to take a short break because I'm at a good breaking point here in between batches, and then I'll come back for round 2 to finish out the tomatoes. Alright, see y'all in a bit. Okay friends, so I am ready for round 2 of tomatoes. I have the rest of the tomatoes set out. I have my blanching pot heated up to boiling. I have my cold water pot over there. It did have ice in it. And then I have my second stock pot ready to go. My scrap buckets there ready to go. And then the first batch of tomatoes are in the ice box waiting for the plastic containers to get cleaned up. And then I'll transfer those into plastic containers so that I'll have my stock pot for the actual cooking. Alright, so let's get started on round 2. Okay friends, well, I have all of the tomatoes processed. I have a whole full stock pot in the ice box, and then this one I was able to get 3/4 of the way full, so that's going to be plenty of tomatoes. I have gone ahead and diced the onions that I've been getting ready, and then I have my peppers laid out here to be diced also. I have some yellow peppers, red peppers, and green peppers all from the garden. And I picked up some jalapeno peppers from the store. 99% of the prep work is finished. And so tomorrow, all I have to do is get out my 2 big stock pots and start mixing the ingredients according to the recipe in the Ball handbook, and get started making the salsa and then canning it. So this is always one of my favorite times of the month or of the year. It is a lot of work, obviously, but the enjoyment that we get out of the fresh salsa on tostito chips is well worth it. So I always look forward to the fall when it's time to gather in the harvest and start the canning process. And salsa is one of our favorite things that I make. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. It helps YouTube algorithm to know to spread my video. Please hit that thumbs up button. And also, any questions or comments that you might have, please put them in the comment section below. That also helps YouTube to know you're interested in my channel. And be sure and hit that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. If you want to know what's happening in my corner of the world, hit that subscribe button to Kelm's Country Corner. I usually do homesteading videos, videos about my gardening, about life here on the homestead, cooking, canning, the chickens, eggs, my cottage garden. Those are my main topics on my channel. However, my life does go in other directions. Sometimes I travel with my sister and my brother, and sometimes I travel with John, and I'm always spending time with my grandchildren. My grandchildren are very important to me, as is my daughter, their mother, so I'm always spending time with them. When I'm not too awfully busy, I try to make the hour-and-a-half trip down to Columbia, Missouri to see my youngest daughter and spend time with her. So I'm doing a variety of activities, and I like to bring you guys along whenever I do them. But if you're not interested in the traveling, or you're not interested in my grandkids, I understand. If you want only the homesteading topics, still be sure to check out my channel, because I have playlists set up. So I have playlists for my gardening, I have playlists for my canning, I have playlists for my baking and my cake decorating and my cooking, and I have all these playlists set up. So all you have to do is hit a playlist that you might be interested in and watch only those topics that interest you. Now if you like to see my travels, I also have playlists for them. But this way you can pick and choose what you enjoy about my channel. So, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back, and thank you for supporting my channel for the past 5 years. If you are a new subscriber, like I said, please hit that subscribe button and maybe even the notification bell. Check out some of the playlists before you move on, and come back again. All right, so that's going to be it for tonight. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.